Good evening. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And boy, what a day today in terms of news. The activity wasn't all that big. It is Tuesday. It is December 3rd, 2024. It's getting on to 6:25 p.m. Central Time. So what do you want to talk about first? Korea, South Korea declaring martial law. That lasted about, from our news point of view, maybe 5 hours. And then Parliament voted it out. And yes, Parliament with a majority vote can vote that down. They didn't get a majority. They got a unanimous vote to vote it down. So now the battle between the president, Parliament going on, what's the next move? And from everything I'm hearing, this caught the U.S. by surprise and many of the others. And it's an important event. Korea buys a lot of our produce, our foods. And you don't want to find that all of a sudden at this time you're losing another client. I mean, we lose enough when China stopped buying a lot of our goods. You know, and China's buying a lot of soybeans right now, but they're buying what they have to get their deeds done, but they're not your friend in buying anything. They buy where they have to and when they have to. And so far, nobody's cut off foods on the tit for tat between China and the United States, although they don't really export a lot of food to us. So tonight, getting a bit of a rally. Why? Well, so far the employment data that came in, which is the JOLTS report today, thumbs up. I saw that you have more jobs being offered. I saw that there's movement. I thought that employees wanted to stay put. You realize you're probably not going to get a pay increase, but they're finding that there's so many jobs, if they don't like what they're doing, I can quit this one and get another one. Wow. I was surprised by that. There's different categories, and if you're a subscriber of mine, I send out these reports shortly after they come out. Did that this morning, and it was interesting. While we're talking all this, maybe we should take a look at the data tomorrow. We're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association at 6 a.m., their numbers. ADP private jobs, this private sector jobs, well, that's going to come out at around 7:15. Then we're going to get S&P Global Group to release their final. So we've had the prelim, their final November service sector PMI. ISM will be right behind them at 9 o'clock, and they'll release their U.S. service sector indices for November at 9. Factory order data is going to come out at 9, but that's always backwards. So it's going to be for the October month, and it's only 5 weeks ago. The Federal Reserve Beige Book, so we're going to get an idea what the different districts are saying at everything at 2. Petroleum stocks, I'm worn out there. Petroleum stocks will be coming out then at, as you can see, 9:30 in the morning. Now, we had the API stocks, and they did come out on the heavy side, bigger than they're estimating. So why did crude oil also go up today? Another event took place. I was looking this morning and I'm seeing that silver market takes off. It was up 50 cents before I knew what was going on. You were up 10, 12 cents in the copper market. Okay, what's going on? The coup shouldn't have anything, or not the coup, the martial law shouldn't have had anything to do out of Korea with that. Finally figured it out. China is giving us the dates now in December that they go into the closed door session to decide what to do and when to do it about the economy. So you know they've put the money away. You know that they've established something of a game plan as to how to spend the money. Now, how do they enact everything? So the market came to life thinking, that's going to be good for factories. It's going to be good for infrastructure. We'll see. I don't know how good that's all going to be. What we do know is factory orders have been recently up, and that is a good thing. You don't want their economy to fail. That isn't what makes the world a better place at all. And I didn't say fail. Remember, nobody has their growth rate. How real it is, that's another question. But all this weighing on what the stock market's trying to do. We're getting a little pop tonight, and that's about all that I could say. When you came over here to the energies, I was really surprised that the market was able to get up to the 70 level. The reason, I didn't see that China was going to announce the date today as to when they're going to meet for everything. Bonds and notes, well, they were up a little bit. Now they're down a bit tonight. And most currencies, well, they're wandering tonight against the U.S. dollar. So when we look at the S&P, if we were to close again right here, this would be the highest all-time close that we've had ever. And what is this now in records? I think it's 55. So do I feel good on that last report that I gave you in the S&P? Yeah, it worked, and it worked beautifully. My timing was right on the money. Now, I'm not going to do a report this week. I thought I would. I've decided to do one next week. I think it'll make more sense. I'll have all the jobs data. Then I can move forward and figure out what I want to do next. When you look at the S&P, again, I'm going to repeat. Notice how both the volume and all of a sudden out of the market, the activity slowing down. You're narrowing in every day the range of the market. Eventually, that's going to turn into violence, one way or the other. Higher lows, higher highs, new all-time highs, by the way, staying over the 18-day average of closes. I predicted back here when we were talking that report that I put out, I thought that would be your low area. It's turned out to be right on the money for you. Now, if it keeps going up, the 6,100 level, how long have I mentioned that 6,100 level? It's got to be a month, 2 months that we've been talking that if the market goes up, that'll be the next big number that it's got to deal with. That's where we're at. I'm seeing that firms like Goldman and so on are coming out with where they think next year the S&P will be with. You know, fool's folly happens at this time of the year. Firms think they can predict a year out what the market's going to do and where it'll be. So they're saying 6,500 could be, you know, the zone that the S&P wants to go to. Okay, I have no idea, but that's not very much from here. You know, is it worth tying up all that? That becomes the interesting question. You're embedded. So breaks in the market, not rallies, I think get well supported until the red line closes under 79. In the NASDAQ, higher highs, higher lows. Again, this market also bottomed right in that time frame that we had, and here you are running to the upside. The Dow running to the upside, same time frame, by the way, and knocking on the door of trying to get to the 45,400 level, which is your next Bollinger Band top. When we look at the mini Russell, here's the weakest. Yes, the market got up and got to an all-time high, but on a relative basis, it's not making 55 days this year of new highs. You do realize that. But it's doing fine. Please understand that. I'm not knocking it. But it pulled back again to the 18-day average. I know that there are people want to rotate in it, but it isn't the place to be. It's not embedded. So I'll let everybody else want to own it as they want to own it. I am not surprised to see backing off in the bonds and notes. You have been fighting at the upper Bollinger Band. You're trying to embed. You can't count tonight's numbers. We don't know if that's going to embed or not. But we had, for the close Tuesday, both numbers over 80. When we come into Monday, come on, baby. It doesn't want to give me one more of these. Let's see if that will do it. Not going to let me give it to you. It needs one more day, so we'll see if it can do that. Not there in the 5-year note, not at all. You're just in an overbought market fighting. Actually, if you get under the lows of Monday, you open the door up to go back to the 107.02 area. So the ADP numbers, Challenger grays that are going to come out, and this end of the week when we get the U.S. jobs report, very important to these markets right now. In the dollar, we have been fighting where I said I thought we would go back to that 18-day average once we lost the bullish embedded reading. A bullish embedded reading is when the two numbers that make up the slow stochastic are going over 80. When you lose one, the market often then from there tries to get back and fight a battle at the main moving average. Now, it can be a higher moving average. It's very often the 18-day moving average of closes. When we get to the eurocurrency, okay, which way? If the market's going to resume its downtrend, all it need do is take out Monday's low, and that would do the job. I'd suddenly have on this pattern lower highs, a lower low, and the door opens for the 104 area, which means the dollar might be popping through up there. In the British pound, If the market takes out Monday's low, that could do the job there too. And I'm then looking for the 124.90 zone. Bitcoin, you lost the bullish embedded reading. I think price and the 18-day average are going to come together before a new all-time high is made, and that was the most recent high that the market made. On the energies, well, I thought the market was actually a reasonable sale today at the 18-day average, which stops over that high. It went through it, but now at least I knew why. Because I'm wondering, why is this even occurring? I thought selling it compared to yesterday's number, just to give you an idea, because you were in a downtrend, you had lower highs, lower lows, made sense. And that from where you closed was nearly 100 points higher if you think about it. But it went through it, and that's because, again, we might get Chinese news that changes the function. If they do something to help their economy in a really good way, maybe they'll consume more oil. Another problem brewing in oil is that the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel is cracking at the seams everywhere. There are daily intrusions, both sides claiming the other side is doing something. People dying, 15 more have died in the past 48 hours, I read. Homes are being still destroyed. Israel had 3 or 4 missiles launched by Hezbollah into it. So there's different things. If this thing collapses, Israel's defense minister today said, if this doesn't work, then not only is Israel going after Hezbollah there, they're going to go after the Lebanese state. I don't know what that means. Lebanon has 80,000 soldiers. I imagine they can do something to defend themselves, and we help them with their soldiers, the U.S. does. So I'm not quite certain what that means. I'll let rhetoric do its talking, but action different. I don't think the U.S. wants that. When you take a look here at the upper Bollinger Band and the 200-day average, the 100-day average, that's where I see the resistance there. In the heating oil, lower highs, lower lows, still in the bear camp here. And in the nat gas, when we were just talking, I said, I think you'll come down. I think there'll be a sell opportunity here. I think nat gas is breaking into the end of the year. I'll stick my neck out. That'll be very hard to get over that high in the market, and I think that you might make a run for the lows. It's just the seasonality as to how it works. We're already in really cold weather. We're 20 degrees in Chicago without wind chills, 8 degrees at night, and that's Chicago. Take a look at the maps. You see the whole Midwest, the upper Midwest here is like that. East Coast isn't a lot better. What about the almost 6 feet of snow in different areas? So we're getting an early blizzard type weather. You know, 3 weeks ago in Chicago, we were in the 60s and 70s. Hard to believe. And all of a sudden, winter's here with a vengeance. So I do want to remind you that if you want to take advantage of the sale that we have going on, this is the best one you're going to get this year. It ends December 6th. We made it easier. So if you go to our website at iraepstein.com, just look at the top left, give it a click. When you see what you want, you'll see all the different pricing, and it's 50 off on any 1-year subscription for new and returning subscribers. All you need do at that point, that's all you have to do, is hit the yearly toggle. You'll see the toggle there, monthly and yearly. When you put it into the cart, what you want, that's when the 50% discount price will show. Before you ever buy it, you'll see the pricing's in there. I hope you take advantage of it. We're going to add a lot to it. I began adding a new service today to it, showing what happens with lost embedded readings, where if you went short or long, and I track it. It's only available in my subscriber videos. So if you want to see that, subscribe. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day.